How many different ways are there to tell a story, you ask? Hmm. There are not enough numbers out there because it's endless. And we are so lucky today on the program. We have Laura Patrick joining us. She is a busy lady, is involved in so many different aspects of storytelling, and we have her on the program today. Laura, welcome to Media Champions.
You are quite welcome. Thank you so much for having me on here. I do think that, doing all those different things, it sometimes is kind of nice for somebody to pinpoint something and ask for expertise on that. And then I get back to my roots a little bit about the things that I'm kind of more of an expert on. So thank you for having me.
Well, you know what? All of these cool things that you do add so much value to our viewers who are wanting to know, that burning question. How do I tell the story? How do I reach the people? Yada, 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 yada. So obviously right now you're in your beautiful beer garden, and I have to say, love the look there. Nick and I, producer
Thank
Nick
you.
and I think you should have a beer for us when we're finished here.
But for sure, you're welcome anytime, and I will pour you a beer.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's talk about the reach of people, because in this business of media and marketing, and as you know, with all that you do and all of these facets of your work, you have to find the right channel to tell your story, the right way to tell your story. Can we just open up and start talking about what it's like to be you and the different ways that you have to find to tell stories and the varieties of ways that you can do it?
Yeah, certainly. I will definitely say with having a variety of different businesses that I market, you have to find different ways, to tell each of those stories, because they aren't one size fits all. So, as you know, I am a restaurant owner. I also work with my family business, which is Patrick Properties Hospitality Group. So it's basically we put on high-end events that are weddings, rehearsal dinners, things like that. But I also, as you said, I've recently kind of jumped on with a production company because I am a big storyteller. I do enjoy telling stories, and I think that's a big reason why I got into marketing to begin with, just because it is the best avenue to, as much as you want to get your message out there, you also have to figure out a way to do it that people respond to. So for each one of these, I feel like there's kind of wildly different ways of telling that story. So for instance, I went into the beer garden, and in that method, it was so organic, and because it's a local established, or at that time it wasn't established, but it's an establishment, it's in a physical place, you could kind of drum up a lot of excitement just from saying, like posting behind the scenes pictures on social media, or just kind of driving that interest. And you knew from how many great, amazing restaurants there are in Charleston, there's a lot of good examples. But as opposed to that, going into production, particularly a podcast that I'm now a co-host of through that production company called Next Page, it has been a wildly different experience as far as trying to get that message out there, because it's such a new medium. And it might seem like podcasts have been around for a while, but they really haven't in the long haul. Or if you look over, everything that has come out over the years, podcasting does not have a lot of it has the ability to get a lot of digital analytics behind your marketing. However, they haven't completely figured out how to put those all together. So it's a big learning curve when you go kind of across platforms like this. So yeah, I mean, that's generally what I've found, that it's trying to find that right market for each one, and they're so different, and you don't really know how different they are until you're looking for those results, kind of their ROI, if you will. And it's much harder when it's just digital, and you're not physically seeing the people come in, you're not physically getting the leads of clients wanting to buy your product. So it's a much different animal. So it has definitely taught me a lot of different.
We're almost out of time, and I'm so going to have you back on the show. That's a given. But I want to ask you real quick. You mentioned the analytics, and regardless of what business you have that you're talking about at the moment, or anybody else watching, How important are those analytics, and why should people partner with somebody, like yourself, who understands the way that this operates? Because if you can have all the best content in the world, if you don't have the science of the analytics, it's kind of for naught. Am I right?
I 1,000% agree. I think that is kind of the hardest part, is that the reason the analytics are so important is with something that isn't necessarily so tangible. In particular, you need to know how to express the reason why other people should advertise with you at the same time. So to show, say, sponsors for our podcast, or for a production company, or for any of it, there's a lot of symbiosis that goes into it. And so the analytics help kind of just drive those people to feel inclined to advertise with you, to know that people are listening to what you're putting out there, to know that they will be seen. So I think it's a lot of there's a lot of optics that go into it that you do have to share with kind of partnerships. But I think ultimately it also tells you whether anybody is paying attention to what you're putting out there. So whether it is advertising or creating content, I feel like it's very much the same.
I love that combination. Optics and analytics, they go hand in hand. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. And Laura, we're going to have you back on the program so we can continue the discussion. And you are one busy lady. Thank you again for taking time to be on Media Champions.
Thank y'all for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to come back.
Well, we know how to find you now. You're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's the internet. It's really changed everything.
Don't you love it? Hey, for the rest of you, we want to put you in touch with Laura. It's easy to do. You can find her by finding us at dailyadbrief.com. I'm Mary Therese Griffin in Atlanta. We'll see you next time for more Media Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.